Hi, and welcome back to Purposeful Woman podcast. And today we have Mona Tenjo. Mona Tenjo is a co-founder and CEO of Work on Your Business, where she helps entrepreneurs to work on their business instead of off in it. Scaling businesses sustainably while having more free time is her goal for her clients. Hi, and welcome, Mona.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, Viktoriia.
Absolutely my joy. And as always, let's start from your story. I would love to hear how you became what do you do and what's inspired you to do so.
Absolutely. I mean, it's thanks so much for asking. So I started really like most people, I finished my school, started to finding out what I should do with my life. I thought, okay, let me go into business, because in Germany, that's the job where you can really earn more money short term. And I don't really come from a rich family. So I was very money driven in the beginning of my career, started to work very fast, made an apprenticeship, went back to university because I had to finance my own study, right? So I first had to earn the money to then go to university. And that got me on the way to consulting. And then I started working with really big companies like Siemens, like Deutsche Post Allianz in project management, where I implemented massive IT projects, which is really amazing with mid of 20s working with really top level CEOs and so on. But then after time, it gets boring because you do it all the time. And then I started to try to find what I'm good at, and then I really struggled for some time because if you're surrounded by people who are all like you, nobody would pay for your service because they all know what you do. And so I had to go out of my comfort zone and find people very different from me, and actually stumbled over helping people apply the skills that I learned in consulting and project management, because they said like, how do you do that? Like, that was amazing. I was like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what you mean. And that's how it actually came out. And I did a lot of stuff for my own business, where basically I was implementing my own software, websites, and so on. I'd never even thought of offering that. But then people said like, oh, who did that? And I was like, me? Or can you also do that for me? And I realized there's actually a market right there. And so I took all the skills I learned and put it into the business today, helping people grow to the phases of business, because I have that background from huge companies. So I know what the end result looks like, and then how do you get there on the way with ease and without spending too much time off track.
I love it. And I know you've been working in such a cool companies with like a big, was Rolls Royce or
Siemens
BMW?
and yeah, Rolls Royce is actually what I'm working on right now. Yes.
Yes, that is so cool. I mean, I've never worked in like such a big company, and I think it's pretty interesting to do project management for such a big companies. What would you say when you started your own business? If everything that you knew right now, in counting, everything that you know right now, you go back and change it or do differently.
I think in general, we learn from our mistakes, and I think we wouldn't be if we wouldn't have made those mistakes. However, I do think I should have trusted my advisors more, because I kept running in circles because I thought I know it better. And then I realized I'm standing at the same spot like before, even though I felt like I was doing so much, but I realized like, actually I'm back at zero. That's really stupid. And then it turned out that my advisors were totally, I'll give you one example. So one of my advisors said, you should focus on the system implementation because that's what people pay for. And I thought like, let me rather do the coaching, I'm maybe better with that. And after 1 year, I realized, yes, I did sell a lot, but it was really 90% system implementation driven. So it was really true. And then there was numbers don't lie, right? So that was very obvious that this was the right choice.
I love it. I love it. I think we all at some point understand, okay, I get to trust who I hire for advice and not like go, resist and go against their advices. Yes, that's right. There's people that are coachable and there's people that are not coachable that just want to do their own way. And I always say, what are you trying to make? Original mistakes? There is no original mistakes anymore. Already, I think we've done it all. Humanity, have done it all. All right. So, what would
Absolutely.
be your advice then for everybody who? Let's talk about systems and implementations. Like, what would be your number one advice?
The number one advice is think in the future, think ahead. So many people do the mistake of looking at what they currently do and they try to save a lot of money for the moment. However, when you talk about systems, you need to think about the future. You may start with an email list of 100 people. That's totally fine, right? And you may want to save like $10 a month for something which could upgrade you to 100,000, right? However, what you have to consider is if you start scaling your business and you suddenly have 10,000 contacts in that list, and then you suddenly cannot use that provider anymore because they don't have a bigger list, right? And you need to migrate 10,000 contacts somewhere else. That's the messy part, you know? And then if you know that you want to go big and you really want to play full out, think ahead and choose the right systems from the beginning, even though they may look a little bit more expensive in the beginning, but they may save you a lot of money down the road because you don't have to migrate later on.
I love it. What will be your, I know you just say about email providers, but I want to ask you, what is your favorite project manager software?
That's really a funny question because honestly, you can make everything complicated, right? And even the most complex projects I manage, they often run in Excel, straight up. You may talk about Ask Excel what you want, but it is the more, first of all, the people know it, they can use it, you know, you don't need an extra training to tell them how to use Excel. You can flexibly adapt it. If you need an additional column, you just do it, you know. I did work with another software, which is called Smartsheet, which actually is like Excel based, but with additional reminders and notifications attachments. So if you need it a little bit more complex, that's also pretty cool. The heavy things like MS Project, which you often use in corporate, they usually require training because most people don't know how to use it. And if you make a mistake in those systems, you actually have a totally messed up project plan, which sucks, you know. So sometimes just keep it simple. Just make sure everybody can use it and everybody understands the same things.
Love it. My favorite is ClickUp. I mean, I can't say enough how good it is. I love it. I love it. I adopted it when they just started, and I'm just seeing how they're growing, and it's so cool to grow together and learn as they come in and like see the new features and stuff. But yeah, I agree. You need really simple things. Like the more simple you can make it, the more understandable for your brain. It's so much easier in business, the automation. And okay, my last question that I always ask everyone, I want you filling a blank, and it will sound like this. If you really knew me, you will know that I am blank.
Purposeful.
What a coincidence, you're on Purposeful podcast.
Exactly.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, thank you so much. I know you have a free gift for our audience. What is that?
Exactly. It's a checklist called the 12 steps how to scale your business, which really gives you the steps that you have to go through because there is a certain sequence to it. So it's like walking a stair, you know, you cannot jump over 3 stairs and then not expect to fall back on the other 2. So you will have to walk the steps as they go. And that list will guide you through these steps, step by step.
Okay, thank you so much. And where our audience can find you?
You can really find me everywhere, to be honest. Just Google my name, but easiest is Facebook, of course, also LinkedIn. You can really just type in my name and you will find me very fast.
Yeah, it's a Mona Tenjo with like
Tenjo, exactly.
Tenjo. Yep. Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming over and sharing your wisdom. And let's make this world more simple. I agree, and make it work.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having you on the show.
And you will find all the links from this episode on the show notes. If you're listening to this podcast, just scroll it in the description and there will be a link. If you're watching it on, then you can just look down there and go to our show notes and grab all the links that we provided in this episode. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. And if you love this episode and you will love to see more of that, click the subscribe button to Purposeful Woman Podcast. And don't forget to text us to stay in tune with the Purposeful community for awesome tricks by texting to number +1 401 399 4105. And we will link descriptions in the episode to all of that we mentioned today. Bye. Turn your one day to day one with a purposeful day.